Hi, Margaret. How are ya?
Hi. I'm doing okay.
Yeah. My name is Jessie. I am a social worker through this agency. I was given a little bit of information about your situation, and I wanted to sit down and talk to you about a few things that I have listed about your current situation. Um, I wanted to touch on a few things. I do have, a pen and a paper next to me just so I can jot down some notes. Um, if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
okay.
Okay. And then just so you know, everything on this paper, everything that you tell me, stays between you and me. So it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay between you and me, and it all remains confidential.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't you tell me about some things that are going on at home?
Yeah, so I am a single mom.
Hmm.
I have a 4-year-old son named Jackson. Um,
Okay.
his dad and I split up like a year or so ago. Just wasn't a good situation. I really just
Hmm.
didn't want to raise him in that environment.
Right.
And my son actually has autism. So
Okay.
I think that might have been like a little bit of strain between me and his dad and like
Hmm.
agreeing on, things to do and what to maybe get him involved with and how to parent.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just didn't want my son in that situation. So
Yeah.
now I'm a single mom.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's tough. I mean, childcare and, working, and it's just been really difficult,
Yeah.
to be stable and make a life for us.
Yeah. So with that, you said that you're struggling with childcare right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you work full time?
I actually work part-time right now.
Okay.
I'd like to work full-time, but the only person that I have to watch my son, is actually my mom, and she's
Okay.
elderly, and I don't think that she could handle him all day,
Yeah.
every day, so
Yeah.
I would like to work full-time, but I just don't think I can do it with this whole, the
Yeah.
childcare situation.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, you mentioned that you and your husband kind of split up because what you think to be your parenting styles were different. Can you tell me more about that and how you feel in regards to that?
Yeah, so he grew up, his parents, they were both alcoholics.
Okay.
So I just think that he maybe didn't really have like great examples of like a parent and child relationship and how to treat children and discipline children. Like
Okay.
he never hurt my son, but
Hmm.
on the same note, I don't know, I just didn't want him to be raised in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
But I also kind of worry about myself too. I mean, it's hard, especially having a child with a disability.
Yeah.
Um, I always am kind of like second guessing myself. Like, am I doing
Mhm.
what's right? Am I, getting him things that he needs? You
Mhm.
know, am I dealing with his behaviors in the right way?
Yeah.
Um, and it's tough. And I feel like I don't really have a lot of people to talk to about it who could, you know, share their input as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um so in so far we've talked about how you are a new single mom, and because of this you're struggling with childcare. You work part-time, and you're kind of looking for guidance on some of the issues with your son and how to go about his situation. Am I
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you are kind of concerned about right now?
Yeah, so because I'm working only part-time and I'm really like the only income in my household, we're
Yeah.
definitely struggling with like paying the rent,
Okay.
utilities, food sometimes. I get paid twice a month, so on
Okay.
the day that the week that I don't get paid, it can get a little
Tough.
bit tight.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Um, okay. So do you do you have a mode of transportation?
I usually just use like the bus,
Okay.
but it can be difficult. Sometimes we struggle to get to some of my son's appointments
Yeah.
because the specialists that he needs aren't right here in town.
Yep.
So that's a little bit tough. But as far as like getting to the store and things
Hmm.
like that, I do okay.
Okay. Okay. Um, so I just want to touch again on your concern with your son. Um, with that, does that arise any concerns for you in regards to your situation right now?
Yeah, so it definitely makes it more difficult. I mean, having a son with special needs.
Yeah.
And so many levels. Like I love him to death and I wouldn't trade, him for the world, but
Hmm.
it has its own set of challenges. Like
Yeah.
for example, like I'll be struggling to buy food and then he only wants to eat specific things,
Yep.
due to his autism. He only wants chips or he'll only eat like chicken nuggets.
Yep.
So that's been really hard. And sometimes he you know, gets upset when I have to leave for work and he
Yeah.
is, has some barriers with being around different people. So like say my mom can't watch him for a day, like I can't just call one of my friends to come stay
Right.
with him. It kind of has to be somebody who knows him and who he's comfortable with. So it kind of adds a whole other level of difficulty, I think, to my situation.
Right. Okay. And you did mention that with your son, you don't have much support with him, right?
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, the only person that I really have in my life right now who I feel like comfortable leaving him with and who he feels comfortable with is my
Hmm.
mom. But
Okay.
she has a lot of her own health issues. And then too, I feel bad because I can't really afford to pay her anything either. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't work. She could use the extra money, but I can't
Yeah.
give anything to her.
Yeah.
She's not going to ask because she knows, that I don't
Hmm.
have any money.
Right. Yep. Okay. So, with that, there are definitely some programs we can talk about in regards to all of your concerns. Um, the last thing I want to ask you in regards to your son is he in school, in preschool, in kindergarten?
Yeah, so he's not in school yet.
Okay.
I He was in Kids Start,
Okay.
but I don't know. It's just been hard just trying to navigate everything for him because I think he's going to need some services at school.
Yes.
So I haven't
Okay.
gotten him enrolled in like the local public school yet.
Okay. Okay. So I just want to recap everything that we just discussed. So we talked about, you're a new single mom, you are concerned about your son and his special needs. So that's kind of causing a childcare issue as you work part-time. Um, you're kind of concerned about your parenting with him. Not much support, have some food insecurity, some money insecurity. Um, and is there anything else that I missed, or is that it?
Um, yeah, I mean, definitely like the financial and maybe even the housing.
Yeah.
I feel like we definitely don't live in the best neighborhood.
Okay.
And I think that gives me a lot of anxiety because I am a single mom. Like,
Mhm.
what if somebody breaks in here? What if something happens to me? Like, my son has all these special needs. Like, if he was in the system or something, like, I don't know, definitely gives me a lot of anxiety living in this neighborhood. But
Yeah.
right now, I don't really have like the resources or support,
Yeah.
to get into a better area.
Okay. Okay. So, like I said, we definitely have some programs that we can talk about. I think that at our next appointment we can really buckle down and get you going. But for now, let's just kind of break down what I'm thinking. Which programs would you might be up for?
Okay.
So since you are a single mom, there are lots of things that you would qualify for, and I want to start with your money insecurity. So with your money insecurity and your housing insecurity, in regards to housing, there are many different ways we can help. We can get you maybe qualified for Section 8 housing,
Yeah, I've
or
heard about that before, but
yeah,
I've never like really looked into it because I didn't know if I
yeah,
would qualify.
yeah. Okay. So if you only have a part-time income, you should qualify for Section 8 housing, especially if you're in an unsafe neighborhood. If you don't feel safe in your neighborhood, it's probably best that we, get you moved out of there in more stable housing. Maybe that we can also get you some help with your utilities as well. I know you mentioned that you struggle paying your utilities.
Yeah, and my
Um,
landlord too, like, I don't know, I've had a bed bug problem before while I was living
okay,
here. I
okay,
also had a leaky pipe in my bathroom,
okay,
and it's literally been like 4 months and nobody,
yeah,
like, I've called and like nobody has fixed it. Like, I don't know if
yeah,
there's anything. I know, like, I really would like to just move out of here, but like I don't even know if there's anything I could do about that either. Like,
yeah,
it's a mess and it's
yeah,
gross.
yeah. Well, I think that if no one has come to fix your issues, I think it's probably best that we get you moved out.
Yeah.
Um, So we'll get you moved into a Section 8 housing community, preferably in a different neighborhood, as you said. I just want to touch on something. So if we were to do that, how would that make you feel compared to how you feel now?
I would be so relieved,
Mhm.
to be in a better home for me and my child. Like,
Yeah,
it's hard on me emotionally because I feel guilty about the situation, don't like the situation, but I also feel bad that my son is in this situation, and I
okay.
feel like almost powerless against, doing anything about it.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you're feeling powerless now, and kind of on edge. And if we were to make this move for you, it would help relieve some of that anxiety.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely think it would. And I think that my son may even improve too if he was in a better
Yep,
environment.
I agree. Yeah, that's a smart choice to make, I think. So with your um along with your money insecurity. So if we tackled housing, with your food insecurity, since you only work part-time, Section 8 will give you a voucher to pay for your housing. You can qualify for HEAP, which pays for your utilities, specifically heat and electric. Um, and then with your food insecurity, are you qualified right now for food stamps or WIC or anything like that?
I did have WIC when I had
Okay.
my son,
Okay.
but I don't have food stamps or anything now.
Okay.
Occasionally I do go to the food bank at my church. Um,
Okay.
but and I don't know, it's only once a month and I feel kind of
Yeah.
guilty about it. Like, I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay. Okay. So we can definitely get you applied for food stamps. That will be um, a good support system for you, I think, along with going to your church for that support. And it's nothing to feel guilty about. That's what they're there for. I'm sure they're very happy to help you. And I think that, along with food stamps, would probably put you in a much better spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, or maybe
Um,
like finding, like, we usually do okay like that first week that I get paid, but then
mhm,
after that, like, it
it's a
it
struggle.
gets really tight sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So, and with your food insecurity and your son being picky, having that extra wiggle room will probably be crucial to his eating habits as well.
Right. I
Yeah.
agree. Like, and it kills me sometimes. I'm like, I know the only thing my son will eat right now is chicken nuggets, and I don't have the
Right.
$7 to go to the store and get a bag of chicken nuggets. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
hard. I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm a bad mom just because I don't have the, money to
Yeah.
take care of him, and we live in a bad neighborhood. And
Yeah. I can understand how that would make you upset. I don't think that makes you a bad mom because you are doing the best you can. But on the other hand, you're making really good moves to improve his quality of life, which is the best step forward, I think.
Yeah.
So in regards to these money insecurities, I want to kind of talk more to you about your childcare situation. So once we kind of get that foot in the door to provide you with more funds for housing and utilities and food, our next step I think would be providing you more funds for childcare and kind of getting the situation with your son straightened out. Is he in any early intervention programs?
Yeah, so he's in Kid Start right now.
Okay.
But I mean, he's 4, like he's getting to be school aged, and
Yep.
I don't know, I haven't really heard anything from Kid Start about that process or how that even like
Okay.
how that works.
Okay. So we definitely have services that he would qualify for depending on his level of need and care, but there are resources such as, education centers that he could be accepted into that depending on his insurance level, he could definitely qualify for. Do you guys have health insurance?
Yeah, so we both
Okay.
have Medicaid right now.
Okay, so Medicaid is for sure able to cover most of his expenses in order to attend an early intervention center or a education center for children with special needs. Is he formally diagnosed with autism?
Yeah, so Kid Start did help us with that process. We
Okay.
did it when he was like 2.5 or 3.
Okay.
We did get his diagnosis, but I definitely think that they could be, I don't know, like I'm so thankful for what they do for us, but
Yeah.
on the same token, sometimes I feel like it's hard for me to get through to them and
Yeah.
like get help.
Yeah.
Um, like for example, with the whole school thing, like I feel like he's 4 years old, like somebody should be, helping me with
Mhm.
this or like showing me what I need
Absolutely.
to do. Like I don't know
Yep.
what to do. So
Absolutely, that's another service that we can provide for you and your son is to have an advocate there who maybe specializes in special ed, in order to kind of advocate for you to, especially since you've never done this before, someone to advocate for the paperwork that needs to be handled and the insurance and maybe to find the best education program for your son because if he's 4 come this school year starts September he should be starting kindergarten.
right,
So and there's always before and after school programs as well that are funded by the state that specialize in special ed as well. So if which kind of leads into my next topic, if you were looking to bump up your hours from part-time to full-time once he's in school full-time, you can have that support as well. Is that a goal of yours?
yeah, definitely. I think once
Okay.
he's only at Kid Start for a couple hours, so it doesn't
Yeah.
make a huge difference in my schedule. But I think once he's going to school all day, and then like maybe my mom could like take him like after school while I'm at work still or whatever, like that would definitely help me be able to work full time.
Yeah.
Um, and I'd really like to get a better job too. Like right now, I'm just working in fast food, and I know I can do better than that, but it's just like it's hard to find like a real job when you can only
Yeah.
work, part-time hours.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with your employment, are you, if you don't mind me asking, do you have um, any further education?
Yeah, so I got my high school diploma,
Okay.
and I have like 3 semesters at the community college.
Okay.
But then I got pregnant with my son and I couldn't go
Hmm.
to school anymore.
Okay. Is finishing that degree something that you would be interested in?
Yeah, I think I would be definitely interested
Okay.
if I had more time. I feel like that's the hardest thing now is
Yes.
just like finding the time to sit down and be able to do schoolwork. Being
Yeah.
a single mom, it's just I feel like I'm always just going, going, going.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons I asked because it'll be really nice once we get your son enrolled in possibly a before and after school intervention program along with his his schooling, his regular, kindergarten schooling, that'll leave you a good chunk of time, especially if we find you a stable job with stable hours. Um, I'm assuming that your preferred hours are probably, 8 to 3 or 9 to 5, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Okay.
something during the day. Like I think my mom would be able to help like definitely a couple hours a day, like
Yeah.
before or after to like fill the gap.
Yeah.
Um, so that would definitely, or even if I just like maybe worked more hours and went back to school, like I don't know, I'd have to like
Mhm.
figure it out financially to see what I could afford.
Yeah. So with that, um, that will definitely open up more time for you to pursue a full-time job opportunity and maybe go back to school, even if it's part-time. I do know that depending on the college that you went to or you want to go to, they do provide programs for people like yourself to provide employment right at the college. So
Oh,
you could,
really?
yep, so you could work full-time and go to class there. So that I feel like might be a good opportunity for you as well.
Yeah, and I've been worried too about how to pay for it. Like, so when I went to school the
Mhm.
first time, I was still like a dependent on my parents. So I
Okay.
didn't get any financial aid, but my parents like covered it. And then I got
Okay.
pregnant, dropped out, and whatever. So like I've been a little bit worried about that too because I know it can be really expensive.
So with you being a single mom, especially a single mom with a child with special needs, you will um, definitely qualify for some grants. There are also student loans, but I don't think you would need them at this point. I think that with your part-time income as of right now, if we got you enrolled, I think that we could get you covered with, there's a Pell Grant, which is uh, a part of kind of that financial aid. There is also a um, grant that you could get as a single mom as well. That's through New York State. Um, is the college that you went to a community college?
Yeah, it's a community
Okay.
college. And
Oh,
when I went before, I even tried to get like scholarships and stuff to
mhm.
help like my parents with the cost, but
Yep.
I don't know, maybe that would be like
Yep.
something. It's like another
Yep.
time thing too. I feel like.
Yeah. So with a scholarship, that's another thing that so with the grants and scholarships, you have to apply for them. Especially there are lots of, grants and scholarships for women who are single moms or have children with special needs. Depending on your experience, we could get you applied for those as well. There is also the option of student loans. Like I said, I don't think you would need them at this point. I think that we could get you enough federal aid to the point where you probably would be covered, along with your books. And how are your resources? Do you have what you would need to go to college? Perhaps like a laptop and some notebooks?
Yeah, so I have my laptop from when I went to school before, but I
Okay.
don't like use it that much now or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Okay.
don't know about that. I mean, I might struggle to pay for textbooks. Like I
Okay.
remember when I went before, they were super
Mhm.
expensive.
They are expensive. So with the grants and scholarships that you may apply for and for the federal financial aid that you'll receive, um, which includes the Pell, there's TAP, things like that, that will cover your books.
Okay.
So especially with you not having a second income anymore as a single mom, that will definitely help you out if you're looking to go back to college full time. Um, so with that being said, how would you, so with all of these insecurities that we've kind of touched on, the food insecurities, the housing insecurities, your utilities, your childcare insecurities, um, I'm going to ask you, just like I asked you before, making these changes, how would that make you feel in comparison to how you feel now?
Yeah, I mean, I can picture a life where all of these issues are kind of solved, and I just think it would
Hmm.
be so much easier emotionally on me and for
Yeah.
my son. Just to get us into a better place. Because I definitely, like I said, I feel a lot of guilt, about
Yeah,
being able to provide and, feel
absolutely.
anxious about where we live and money. And I think a lot of stress would be, alleviated if
Yeah,
we
good.
had a different life.
Yeah, good. Okay. The last thing I wanted to touch on is how you mentioned parenting. You you don't seem to have much support, as you mentioned. Um, are you a part of any maybe community groups or support groups, or they also have um, through the education system, they have systems that correlate parents to one another to try to get some support there. Are you a part of anything like that?
I'm not, but I would be interested in, like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do like parenting classes, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
having somebody who I can just like talk to it about, who like has a kid with special needs and
Mm-hmm.
like knows what I'm going through and can be like, oh yeah, you're not crazy. Like I do this too,
Yeah. So definitely that's a good support system. The community group, support groups, connecting through your son's newly found school. Um, with other parents. There are also different therapies that your son could qualify for through Medicaid. The through school, the most common are, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and music therapy. But we also, there's ABA therapy, which also is provided through Medicaid, which is in your home. So when your son maybe would get home from school, you could have an ABA therapist come into the home and work with your son on different skills within the home, and try. So the majority of ABA therapists do have correlation with the child's school, so that way they can kind of correlate skills that they're working on, concepts that they're working on, things like that. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I think that would be great. I mean, like
Okay.
right now I might be kind of like embarrassed or like
Yeah.
nervous to have somebody like that here.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
just because my apartment is like not safe and
Yeah.
like not the nicest. But I
Yeah.
think if I was in like a better
Yeah.
apartment, a better neighborhood, I would like that would be really helpful.
Okay. Yeah. So what's your time frame for getting all of this started?
Yeah, so I think like based off what it sounds like my a lot of it's like around my son. So
Mhm.
maybe like once he gets into school, we
Okay.
can work on some of this other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's a really good plan. As far as the parenting goes, like you said, there's definitely parenting classes that you could take. There's also ABA works very closely with the parents as well. So we can definitely get you going, get you into new housing, a new neighborhood, and make sure that we enroll your son into the proper program. And after that, I think ABA would be really helpful for you in your parenting skills and also your son's coping skills and how he is going to deal with his new world.
Hmm.
So, okay, so I just kind of want to recap what we talked about just to make sure we covered everything. We talked about, how you're a new single mother, you were having trouble with childcare, your parenting needs, your food, housing, and utility insecurity, um, and how you kind of want to change that around and gain some more support, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So, is there anything else that you want to chat about before we end the call?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. I mean, I'm sure stuff will kind of
Yeah.
come up in this whole
Yeah.
process. Um, but I don't know, I feel better already kind of just talking about it and having a plan for moving forward kind of makes
Good.
me just like hopeful, I guess.
Good. I'm glad. We will definitely get you taken care of and get you signed up for what you need in order to be successful and ensure that your son is going to be successful as well. Um, okay, so we will make sure that we get you scheduled for another appointment, maybe within the next couple days. Would that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And along with that, we can touch quickly on if your do you have childcare while you come here?
I don't, like, not
Okay.
routinely. Like, usually I can
Okay.
ask my mom or something if I have to go to an appointment by myself.
Okay.
I usually just kind of take him
Yeah.
everywhere with
Okay.
me and like bring
So,
him with his tablet or whatever.
okay. So that's what I just wanted to touch on, is to just to let you know that while this process is going on and we're getting you moving and figuring out new spots for you guys, you can bring him here. We do have a space for him
Oh,
to come
okay.
here with you. Yep. So, when you come to your appointments, we do have kind of like a child care representative with kind of like a playroom kind of thing. So you can definitely bring him, just so you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
the
that would
child
be
care
a huge
aspect.
relief.
Yep.
Mhm.
So let's plan on that, and we will be sure to schedule our next appointment. The last thing I just want to say to you is, it's kind of our job to make sure that you and your son are safe and taken care of and comfortable where you are during this process. Are you and your son safe right now as we go through this process?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're safe. Like day to day,
Okay.
like we're okay. Like it's not like
Okay.
anybody's like planning to break in here or anything that I
Okay.
know of. It's just like, I don't know. I worry about like just being alone,
Yeah.
a single mom in this neighborhood and like
Yes.
being out at night and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think we're okay.
Okay. Okay for now, until we get you
Yeah.
moved. Okay,
Yeah.
as long as you guys are safe. That's just what I wanted to touch on. Okay, so it seems that we have a pretty good plan here. We'll make sure that we get you scheduled for the next couple days. I'm glad that you came in and talked to me today, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, bye.